Fun fact, Meghan Markle's sister Samantha predicts that Meghan will divorce Prince Harry. We here at the Magi Method have been saying this all along. Meghan Markle's estranged half-sister Samantha Markle has predicted that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will be getting a divorce, and she suspects that Prince Harry is already considering ending the marriage. I hope so. I hope he sees the writing on the wall. I hope he sees the damage that he's doing to himself and his life and the royal family, and he starts stepping back from it, but he hasn't. He's doing quite the opposite at this point. Okay, on with what we're really here to talk about. Meghan Markle is reportedly networking with Democrats and eyeing a bid for the U.S. presidency. I put Meghan on exactly the same par with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and everything Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says is just pure emotional nonsense and with no basis in facts. It's like listening to Greta Thunberg talk about the environment and screaming about facts. You have a small child telling us about the environment, so you can't criticize the small child, and it has nothing at all to do with facts or science. And that's what's going on. So let's read some of this because it's very interesting, very informative. Meghan Markle is reportedly already networking with senior Democrats to help her ambitions to become the first female U.S. president. I believe she is doing this. She is a master networker, and that's how she got where she is. The Duchess of Sussex previously told friends about her political ambitions and now hopes her blockbuster Oprah Winfrey interview will strengthen support in the U.S. She definitely got her face out there. I think it's backfiring somewhat because there's a lot of untruths and a lot of massaged facts in there that Meghan put out, and Harry. Meghan has been openly networking among senior Democrats to build fundraising teams and a campaign for the White House, according to a senior UK politician who served under UK Prime Minister Tony Blair and has close ties to Washington. Okay, so now we're getting down to the details. Tony Blair. The Blairite, internationalist, and Democratic Party networks are buzzing with talk about Meghan's political ambitions and potential backers. Interesting. Markle, allegedly 39, is thought to be looking at the 2024 campaign. I just, the word birther comes to mind. They gave Obama a lot of flack about was he born as a U.S. citizen. Meghan Markle being 39, I can definitely see this coming up, and let's get the birth certificate and let's talk to some people who went to school with her and prove that she's not actually 39. She's looking at the 2024 campaign if President Biden, who will be 82, decides against running for a second term, the source said. If successful, it would make her the first female U.S. president. A lot of people are saying that Biden will step aside and let Kamala become the first black female U.S. president. He doesn't seem to be all there in his mind, and he doesn't seem to be competent to do the job already. Biographer and friend Omid Scobie previously claimed that Meghan has her eyes set on the U.S. presidency. Quote, Meghan is the embodiment of the American dream. One day we may see Meghan become president. The author of Finding Freedom, Harry, Meghan, and the Making of a Modern Royal Family, previously told a documentary. Another friend told Vanity Fair last year that the Duchess would seriously consider running for president. One of the reasons she was so keen not to give up her American citizenship was so that she had the option to go into politics. I agree. Another biography previously insisted that the Duchess does not have the skin of a rhino to run for office, with her sensitivity to criticism only further highlighted during her sit-down with Oprah. Quote, I would state categorically that she has no chance of ever running for president. She would be eaten alive. Andrew Morton, author of Meghan, a Hollywood Princess, told Vanity Fair last year. I agree. Meghan is way too thin-skinned. You just look at the criticism that former President Trump gets all the time. It's just amazing, and it's nothing. The criticism that Meghan receives, most of it deserved, is nothing compared to the criticism that Donald Trump receives, and many others. Okay, many others of her stature. So I just don't think she could tolerate the heat. And one more thing I wanted to point out. Okay, there's no question Meghan is involved in politics. Meghan flew home from the UK so she could vote in the presidential election. In the run up to it, Meghan and Gloria Steinem cold called voters. Quote, "We sat at the dining room table where I am right now." This is from Gloria Steinem told Vanity Fair, and cold called voters and said, "Hello, I'm Meg, and hello, I'm Gloria, and are you going to vote?" That was her initiative. So Meghan wanted to do this. Steinem added that the Duchess is smart, authentic, funny, and political. So that is election meddling. Meghan and Harry are British. They are British royals, and they are not allowed to meddle in the U.S. election, and the Crown would be very upset about that. And this is proof of election meddling.
Good day, YouTubers. Welcome back to my channel. Time for a spot of royalty. Find the book worldwide on Amazon and Kindle and paperback versions. Find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. Please remember to like. That helps with the algorithm. Please subscribe. A lot of people have been unsubscribed. Please share the video if you feel like it. And I love to read your comments. So we have Meghan Markle running for president. And we have Gloria Steinem here saying that they made cold calls for Biden. So I do believe this is happening. I think Meghan she just puts out feelers, and she just kind of wants to provoke and see what responses she's going to get. I think her age is going to come up. I think her beautiful award-winning feet are going to be an issue, although people will have to be more subtle about the feet. And this is a fabulous black and white photo that they took earlier with Archie, and I don't know how they got the new baby in there since the baby's not born yet, but anyway, great photo of Harry and Meghan. Anyway, that is not Edward and Wallace Simpson, as some are led to believe. That's Harry and Meghan. So let's take a look at this. How serious is Meghan about this? Or is she just testing? Is Meghan just testing the water, provoking, seeing what kind of reaction she gets? Or is she serious? I think she's a provocateur. I think she provokes and she reacts. She loves to react. She loves to act very emotionally. She wants to see, I think, what their reaction will be, if they'll take her seriously, if they'll create a coalition and give her money and, really put together the machinery to make this happen. Will the powerful people get behind her? Or, she's really determined. I think, someone like Donald Trump getting into the ring, I don't think he intended to run for president. And I think a lot of people just got behind him and wanted him to run for president. I don't think he had some master plan. He's a billionaire and he was very busy. But let's see. Is she just provoking to see what she's going to get? Or is she really serious? What do we have here? How serious is Meghan, or is she just reacting? Let's see. Here's the reacting card to what's behind, what's underneath. Opportunity, reacting. Okay, let's read the spread. Hand in hand, many people in the... So these are both like the public cards. Angel. She wants to be... This is Meghan. She wants to be an angel. She wants everybody to believe she's an angel. 14, 25, 7 hearts. So she's motivated by being this altruistic, virtue signaling person. She wants people to believe that she's out there for them. She's advocating for the downtrodden. Finger of God. Outside forces are influencing Meghan. So, yeah, there are people who want Meghan to run for president. And for her, she feels motivated by, this just makes her feel like it. I think she's a narcissist, and narcissists wear masks. And being president of the United States, that's a great thing that she can put on and say, she's a duchess, I'm a duchess. Okay, and you kneel to me, I'm a duchess. And then now she can say, I'm president of the United States. That's a big deal. Committed. So people are pushing her, and she is meeting that with some commitment. She feels this is a great opportunity. Reacting to what's going to this undercurrent, what's locked in the box going on. They were trying to keep it on the down low, and it's not on the down low anymore. Talking to people that you like sugars and people that join with Meghan. Opportunity to mobilize the sugars. So it was going on underneath the surface, and nobody was knowing about it. And now they feel that this is the time to bring it out into the public and see what the reaction of the public is. So, how committed is she, or is she just reacting? She does have commitment. Her commitment is being a perfect person in front of the eyes of the world. She's very motivated to do this. She's doing it constantly. If you say, Piers Morgan just said something that Meghan didn't like. He said he didn't believe a word Meghan said. If she read him the weather report, he wouldn't believe it. Okay, that's what he said. She complained to ITV, got him fired. Okay, so she's very motivated by having the perfect persona, and success makes her a perfect person in her mind. So people are pushing her. It was going on under the surface. So the two are meeting. People are pushing from outside, and Meghan is quite committed to this path. She likes it. Let's look more at forces pushing her. Okay, because here's Meghan. We're going to put Meghan and a cabal. Okay, is there a powerful cabal pushing Meghan to be president? Are there dark forces at work? Okay, because with Ocasio-Cortez, and I would relate her very much to this person, and I know some people on the channel, it's very liberal, which I think is the wrong word nowadays, because the liberals are democratic socialists, and they're burning cities down and telling everybody that they're Nazis. It's very strange. So Ocasio-Cortez, she kind of, they gerrymandered the district, and that's a particular word, gerrymandering. They gerrymandered the district, so it was all Democrats, and then they poured a bunch of money into Ocasio-Cortez. They're like, you're a bartender and you have very, very extreme Democratic beliefs. Okay, we'll get you elected. And that's kind of how Ocasio-Cortez got elected. And it'll be interesting to see if she can stay in power. So I'm wondering if there's something like that for Meghan. Let's see if there's some kind of forces behind Meghan. If there's anything nefarious back there pushing Meghan. Because Occam's razor says that usually the simplest solution is the right one. Okay, and we don't need to get all suspicious and whatnot and say that there's nefarious forces back there. It's just what's the simplest solution, and that's not going to be nefarious forces. So are there people pushing Meghan? Yes, there are very powerful people who want to manifest this. 18 and 13. 18, 28, 31 in the world. Yes, there are very powerful and wealthy people who are telling Meghan that they want her to run. And so there is real support for Meghan, and there's real support, and there's money behind this support. And here's money again. Lying in the underneath, under the situation, there's a lot of money and power. Money and power. And nefarious forces. The snake is a good demonic card. The snake in the Garden of Eden, the devil, Satan appeared as a snake. in the Garden of Eden. What do we have on Meghan's side? Ruler to be president, big change to be president, decision to make this big change and be president. 13, 14, 4 diamonds to sit in the house of the presidency. So there are definitely people behind Meghan, and they're powerful and they have money. They are underlying they're unseen. They're lying in the grass. They're unseen, and they have a lot of money, and they're very powerful. And yes, they do want someone like Meghan. I think just like Meghan sort of controls Harry like a puppet, they would like to control Meghan like a puppet. But she's down with it. She's down with the program. She's like, heck yeah, I'll be your puppet. Let's check the viability. Will Meghan run for any political office within the next 4 years? Okay, she could run for, I don't know, mayor of San Francisco. She could run for governor of California. These are very powerful, very visible positions that would be nice interims. She's still quite young. I mean, if she wants to make the presidency, it would be good for her to pick up some kind of political office. She could run for representative of California, one of the representative seats, certainly Democrat. Which I think they have a super majority in California, which is why gas prices are probably $7, and to get a 1-bedroom apartment it's like $1 billion. Okay, because it's just so well run. It's a Democratic supermajority, and they don't have any guns out there, so the murder rate is probably just insane, because we all know there's a connection there. And the safest places in the U.S. are where they have constitutional carry, interestingly enough. So, will Meghan run for any public office within the next 4 years? Okay, a progression, making clever decisions and moving forward in the situation. 24, 29, 8 hearts, water into wine, cleverly transforming herself and moving forward into this new reality, this new situation. So this is a direction that Meghan wants to transform herself in, and she's being upfront. She wants to go into the political sphere, which again is completely impossible. Harry cannot live in the United States. In order to become a citizen, he has to give up his prince title. Why would he do that? What are there needles lying around everywhere in Montecito, and she's just sticking him every 10 minutes with something, and he's like, I don't even know what's going on. Why would he do that? That's insane. Okay, why would he leave the royal family? That's insane. It's all just nonsense. But she is absolutely moving in this direction and looking to transform herself into a political figure. What do we have underneath? Honest woman, sun and olive tree, a new start and a new foundation, committed to this messaging. This honest woman is committed to this messaging. 12, 18, 19, 20, 22, in front of all the people. So yeah, Meghan is going to get into politics. It doesn't say that she's going to run. It does say that she's getting into politics and she's going to stay on this path, and she's committed to this path, and she's going to try to make wise moves related to this path. Okay, here's the $20 million question, because $16 million question, because Harry inherited $16 million from Diana, and that's what they've been living on. Is Harry willing to give up his prince title so that Meghan can hold office in the United States? Drink the Kool-Aid, Harry. Is he willing to give up his prince title? Wow. Yeah. Is Harry willing to give up his prince title? 10 spades. This is the worst possible outcome. This decision is a disaster for who he is. It's the end of who he is. 21, 26. This just completely ends him. It completely ends him. Okay, this is the worst possible thing he can do. He's a complete idiot if he doesn't. That doesn't mean he won't do it. He can't live in the United States. He's living in the United States. Meghan cannot run for political office and remain married to Harry. And yet, this is exactly what she's talking about. I mean, they can live in Canada. Why aren't they living in Canada? What is so terrible about Canada? I've spent a lot of time in Canada. I used to ski Whistler Mountain every year. For 7 years I skied Whistler Mountain every year. Beautiful, fantastic, love it. Some of the best skiing in the world. And I really liked Vancouver. Really crazy, crunchy, West Coast kind of vibe. What's underneath? Scapegoat, blaming, sick, outside, incubus, succubus, and 10 diamonds. Yeah, he's just kicked out. He becomes a stench to the royal family, and he's just kicked out. And he's committed to... He's just isolated. He just becomes completely isolated. He's just cut off, and he's cast out, he's cut off, and he's left completely alone. So is Prince Harry willing to give up his title? These cards are saying this is a disaster, and it completely separates him from the royal family. I'm going to have to say yes, he would be willing to do this at this time. He's just so gaslighted and so confused that and this is the problem with all this Pollyanna thinking. You need to think like a real person. You need to say to yourself, how am I going to eat? Where am I going to sleep? Okay, do I have a home? Okay, you need to think like this. And all these virtue signaling people, they don't seem to think about that. But, people like Meghan, she talks that talk, and yet she's living in a $15 million house. Okay, and all of this is provided by somebody else. She does think about these things. She's just talking. Whereas I think Harry doesn't realize that he's the one providing all these things. And he has to be a bit more pragmatic about where does the food come from? What am I going to do for a living? How important is this royal title that is his entire, that's who he is. That's his entire identity and always has been. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's everything right with that. And there's a lot of good that can come out of that. Or he can act like Andrew. Okay, there's a lot of good that can come out of that. And I don't think Harry did a bad job. He was a very popular royal. People really loved him. And they still do. They secretly still do. But he has to get away from Meghan. What do we have? Let's review it. Is Meghan just testing the water for public reaction? Or is she really committed? She's committed to being an angel in front of the whole world. She is getting influence from outside, and she is committed to this path. They were keeping it all a secret, but now they're coming out with it, and they want to see what the reaction of the world is going to be. If the world is like, heck no, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, then they're going to back off from it. But that's not going to be the reaction that we're getting. There's going to be a little pushback, but Meghan has some fans. Okay, are there forces pushing Meghan to do this? Oh yeah, and they've got money, and they feel like this is a great idea to make Meghan Markle president. Meghan is like, heck yeah, let's do it, and they're powerful, and they're behind the scenes. So this does say, nefarious secret cabal type people to me. They're staying hidden, and they've got a lot of money to throw at it. So powerful people with money love this idea, and they stay hidden, like Rothschilds, and you never hear their names. Spielberg, Hollywood people. You're not going to know that they're behind this, and Meghan is going to be in front. So they love it, and Meghan is down with the program. Okay, number 3. Will Meghan run for any public office in the next 4 years? She's going to stay with this. She likes this. She is definitely moving into politics. What do we have here? new start in a new foundation, and she loves it. She really wants to get in there and get her hands dirty. So yeah, would Harry be willing to give up his prince title? Idiot. Yes. I think, yeah, this is a yes, because there's just so much. These cards demonstrate the complete and absolute decimation and destruction of everything that Harry is, and there's just nothing left, and he's completely isolated from the royal family here in the outcome cards underneath. So if he does this, definitely this just completely destroys Harry. You know, just go, I don't know, be homeless. I mean, it'll completely destroy him. There won't be anything left of Harry if he gives up his prince title. And it looks to me like, yes, he would be willing to do that. So that's how I see it. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination and Fortune Telling. Again, find the book worldwide on Amazon and Kindle and paperback versions. Find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. Like, subscribe, share, and comment.